You're listening to Haze Radio Network, Cannabis Lifestyle Radio.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Kushman Monologues.
Oh, yeah.
Here on Haze Radio.
Yep.
We got Housemaster Drew in the house.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Thanking him for hosting the show once again.
Thank you, my brother.
Yeah, man. How you feeling today?
Good, man. How you doing?
I want to welcome everybody with a big old rip.
Absolutely. You brought some cool stuff over today.
Oh, yeah, man. Oh, that's the way to start the show, right? So, I got myself wet
That was
here
a nice rip there.
with my new bong from the pocketpotkit.com. No, this isn't an ad. These are actually some really good friends of mine. Nick and Luann. We met last year at the Hawaii Cannabis Expo. And they got this really cool product out. They sent me one.
It looks pretty cool.
It's awesome.
What do they call that type of filter when it has all the little little holes in it? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's like a honey. It's like a honeycomb. It's a serious diffuser. So a lot of times you get the diffuser in the downstem. So this one's put the diffuser here, so you get all those really cool, lots of little bubbles there. And so I want to give them a big old shout out at pocketpotkit.com. And yeah, I just got really ripped off of that. So that Veganic Alexander that I'm smoking. Did you try that yet?
Yeah, it's pretty good, actually. Sometimes it's good to start off a show with sativa. You like to smoke sativas most of the time, though.
Yeah, man. I like to stay on fire.
You're not really like a midday indica kind of man unless you just really have nothing to do. But that's
not true. That's not true. It's just about it. I'm not usually this animated, so I like to be a little extra animated.
I got you
for the peeps,
I got you.
Right?
Absolutely
wild and crazy. So
of course.
So I got my hippie speedball going on in full force.
We talked about this once before. This is the coffee, right? You said coffee and. Because at first I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? I remember the old days with the Christmas trees where it used to be like bud with a little bit of cocaine. I was thinking, maybe that's what he's talking about. And he's like, no. The hippie one is, coffee with weed. And there's something else. No, just coffee and weed.
You know what you made me just realize for the first time is that I've been lying to myself because the hippie speedball is coffee as the upper, as in the cocaine, and weed is supposed to be the downer, as in the heroin. But I'm not smoking any downer weed. I'm smoking up. So I'm doing a full-on...
You're all on the
I'm
sativa.
mainlining.
You're all on the sativa.
I'm just mainlining the white stuff, man. That's what I'm doing.
That's funny. That's great.
Oh, yeah. Well, there was those days. Back in the days.
There was those days for sure back in the days.
There was, like the 80s.
Yeah, the 80s, the 70s, the 80s.
I'm older than you. In the 70s, I wasn't doing no cocaine.
Well, we were young. We were like, I was just saying the era.
Drew was doing cocaine and riding his tricycle and stuff.
Riding my bicycle, getting all fucked up.
He was fucking pimping out people and shit.
I was like doing cocaine with my Cabbage Patch Kid. That's what's going on. You remember that? Shout out to the Cabbage Patch Kids.
Yeah, they people trampled each other in the stores that year for Cabbage Patch Kids.
And you know what they trampled for? You remember the Garbage Pail Kids, the spin-off cards?
That was before that.
Potty, Snotty, and
that was before that. I used to get them from the ice cream man in the hood. And
then what was before that? Do you remember?
I don't know, man. You're going way back.
This goes to like our parents' generation. They had wacky packages.
Wacky packies. Yeah, wacky packies.
Wacky packs.
Wacky packs.
And the millennials have no idea what the hell we're talking about either.
No, because you weren't allowed to make fun of like fatness or people who didn't wash, or we're not allowed to make fun of anything anymore. Everybody's allowed to be who they are and need to be respected for it. Right?
Absolutely.
Right, absolutely. So what you got going on? I've got a couple of things that I was thinking about talking about, and I got a couple of people I want to call.
Okay.
We're going to call up Subcool of Subcool's Dank.
Nice. We're going to call him now?
My seed and breed partner. No, well maybe. Not quite just yet.
When you're ready, slide it over. Don't say it on the air, because imagine all the millions of people be fucking hitting Subcool up. Oh yeah, we know his number. No, you're gonna have to change his phone.
And then also I got my buddy Danny-Danko from High Times.
Yeah, sure.
Out at the
he still works there.
He's out at the Oklahoma Cannabis Cup. Did I say Oklahoma?
Yeah, Oklahoma
or Michigan?
Cup. Yeah, it's going on right now. Yeah, no, Oklahoma.
Yeah, shout out to Oklahoma.
So he's actually going to answer while he's from there.
I'm hoping if he's not too fucked up or
whatever,
too crowded around with all his fans.
He's a good person to get here live. He's here in Cali, isn't he?
Who?
Danny.
Danny lives in New York.
He does, but he comes out here a lot, doesn't he?
Well, because they have a cup out here like 4 times a year.
Sure.
You know?
Sure.
They have the SoCal Cup, the NorCal Cup, the Eastern Cup, the Western Cup.
Now Midwest. They got the whole gamut. Shout out.
Man.
Shout out to High Times.
And we'll definitely get around to that. I'm just really psyched to be in this wonderful home doing this show again. And I was watching Bill Maher last night. I got to say, he was fucking hilarious. I don't know if you like Bill Maher.
I love Bill Maher, but he's been around forever, and then you kind of get in those loops where you watch him, and you don't watch him, and you go back to watching him.
Yeah, I just gave up. I just gave up my politics, but I'm not going to talk about politics. But I do like Bill Maher, and he was fucking hilarious, and I really appreciated his. What do you call his when you wish somebody off when they die?
Oh, I see. Eulogy.
He had a really nice eulogy for David Koch. I was really impressed. We'll just leave it at that.
I heard about that. I heard about that.
So yeah, that's the politics portion of the show.
Okay. That was the dude that was in jail and killed himself, right? Or no?
No, that's Epstein. Oh, okay. That's the child fucker.
Yeah, that thing was just crazy.
Yeah, he had an island out in the Pacific that he used to fly like sheiks, and he used to like pay children to come out there and perform sexual acts on him and his rich friends and shit.
And I heard he stashed like, I don't know, it was like an insane number. Like, was it $500 million or some kind of crazy number I was reading about? Is how much money he's got.
I don't know how he made his money.
That he stashed away somewhere or something. I don't know. I was reading something crazy about it.
I don't know how, but he's gone now.
That he's gone, and I don't think he had kids, and it went to some like managing trust. And this managing trust has like some insane amount of money that has no money to, you know what I mean? It's like
you mean they haven't figured out what they're going to do with it yet?
Or like how they're going to disperse it? Or allowed to do it or whatever they're doing, but they're just supposed to hold on to it. And it's offshore. I don't even think it's something that they can get in the U.S.
Oh, the feds can get it. The feds can get their hands on anything they want.
Pretty much,
which is a good thing. They should be able to get that money. And then, because I don't know a lot about this case, but I know that the outcry that started the whole conspiratorial shit was that the people who were offended were now not going to get their justice and their day in court. Sure. So at least if they have $550 million that they can disperse, you can change some people's lives.
If they do that. I don't even know if it ends up going to the family, so
that would be great. That would be great.
Government would probably repose it for their own shit.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Tax evasion, they'll just fucking take it.
Well, that brings me to my theme of the day, which is compromise. You know what this fucking world is missing is fucking compromise, man.
Absolutely.
And you know what the definition of a good compromise is?
What?
When both parties feel like they got fucked just a little. Because if you don't feel like you got fucked, then you didn't compromise.
Or smoke a joint together. And
you No, you see, but compromise is about conflict.
Sure.
If you don't have any conflict, then you don't need a compromise.
Yeah, of course.
So you have a conflict. It's a true, full-on conflict, right? And if you don't feel like you got fucked a little bit, then you con the man who thinks that you made a compromise to.
Absolutely.
So a true compromise is when both people feel like they've been fucked just a little bit.
I understand.
And that's what the world is missing. Everybody needs to feel like they got fucked a little bit.
A little bit.
Not a lot, just a little.
Maybe.
Yeah, my logic doesn't.
I think you might just have been feeling a little bit more anxiety than the usual or something to feel more negative about that. I think you need another bong hit.
You never know. Another bong hit? I say yeah.
Absolutely.
I say yeah. You know, good veganic weed.
I think a bong hit, and let's call Subcool.
Let's call Subcool.
Let's see what he has to say.
Oh, I hope you all. I hope you all are chilling like villains, and just toking away, smoking and toking, dabbing, and stabbing away at that wonderful feeling.
And then for those who don't know Subcool, why don't we give a little refresher before we pop them on?
Well, Subcool. Here, right here. Here you go. How can that be right? He has a 707.
Oh, you know what?
That's crazy.
Actually, I'll have you text him because then he might not know who's calling.
No, he's rating. He's waiting.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
All right, so
go ahead. Pull it up.
Dun.
And and as we're sitting at a bar man, if you've never heard of the band Rehab, and it's really, they're kind of really weird, and but they got a really good album called Southern Discomfort, and that's what we're listening to at the moment. So we're gonna call up Subcool, the famous seed breeder and recipient of the High Times Lifetime Achievement Award.
Really? That's cool.
Yeah, he's a very benevolent chap who's been donating crops to local charities, and everybody knows Subcool.
Hello.
Sub, my man, it's Kush.
What's up, brother?
You are live on Haze Radio on the Kushman Monologues.
How are you today, my friend?
Me and Drew.
What's up, my brother? How you doing today?
How you doing, Drew?
Good, bro.
We're here chilling like villains, getting really super high, and we thought, what better thing than to call up my bud Sub.
I love it, dude. My lights just went off, and I just sat down to do a dab myself.
Oh, isn't that nice? That's
so we
synchronicity.
Just took a little bong hit, and Kyle's loading his up. So why don't we take one with you real quick, and then we'll jump into a little conversation.
Yeah, man. So dab it up, and let me just talk a little bit about what I know what's going on, and what I'd like to hear you tell about is the big story, which is the bowling alley. Motherfucker, this guy grows. I don't know if you follow him online. You got to check him out on Instagram. He bought a house, and then he turned the indoor swimming pool into a grow. And if that's not cool enough, then him and his partner Will, and of course other people that I don't know and shall remain nameless, but they went out and they bought a bowling alley and converted it to a legally licensed indoor grow, and it just got going, right, brother?
Yeah, I was there yesterday. 3 rooms full. So
3 rooms full.
And it's exciting. I got to tell you something. To me, this was one of the coolest things. So for those of you who don't know, in the pool, I took in a clone, and I got the dreaded hemp russet mite.
Yeah, you did.
No one has to experience.
Oh, my God.
So I fired back up. But I fired back up at the same time that we started in the bowling alley. And at the same time, a good friend of mine named Crondom started a 50,000 square foot facility. And all of us started with a couple of plants over in the corner under a light. And for some reason, I had this idea that, I don't know, these big facilities would just go online with, trucks full of clones or something. But it doesn't work like that. And whether you're in a grow tent or whether you're in a pool or whether you're in a bowling alley, you got to start with some plants, and you got to get them going. You got to clone them and transplant them, and you got to expand. And my point of this long tirade is, you don't just start with 4 rooms full. You start in a corner. And so to have 3 rooms full in 1 month is...
Let me ask you, how much did you start from seed?
We call them baby plants. This place has some weird laws. But we probably have 200 baby plants up there right now, and 100 of them are yours, the Strelka and the doggone sour.
Oh, man. Isn't that really a beautiful plant?
It is dude, just because me and you got together didn't mean it was going to be dank.
No.
And it is. Doggone sour is one of the most potent strains on the menu, and the Strelka's got leaves as wide as my hand.
Oh, they're beautiful.
Yeah.
They fluoresce at the end like fall colors up in like upstate Vermont.
Really good job. And if you didn't hear what I said, everybody that smokes the doggone sour raves about its just potency. They're like, dude, what was that?
That's awesome because the Strelka's no slouch either.
No, it's really potent, but I think people were looking more for flavor out of that. And the doggone sour it's just got a little bit more with that JTR. It might have some THCV in it. It hits like a hammer, man.
Nice. Dude, I'm so excited for our next collaboration. Do you have anything in mind?
I don't know of anything right this second, but me and you need to get together and talk, off the air. I would love to continue to look for something in that. I mean, I know the rage is the Macs and the cakes and everything, and we love our vanilla tart and everything, but I'm still really blown away by the dessert flavors. So
I love the ice cream cake.
Flavors, not potency.
Mm-hmm.
I like this ice cream cake and wedding cake and all these different things that are out right now. I know there's spin-offs of stuff that we back in the day all did when we had on the farm,
Not all. No, not true. Not true.
There's semi-blends, but they have the essence of our old school shit.
We gotta give a shout out to Cookie Fam out there because they're doing a lot of good work. They're just killing it, and that's where all these a good mention of these strains are coming from. Is that not right, Sub?
Yeah, and they run a killer business. I mean, if you're in the business, you take a look at the Cookie Fam. Love or hate them, they're kicking ass.
Yeah, man. And if you don't have haters in this industry, you haven't made an impact. That's how I feel. So
you really don't. That's a great story, Kyle. For the time in my life that I usually get down about the haters, but I realize if you're no one sitting in a room with no haters, you're no one. You got a lot of haters, you're probably making an impact.
The thing is like the ratio is huge. It's like for every hater you've inspired, thousands of people, thousands or tens of thousands, and so
absolutely,
it's
and
part
Drew,
of
I'll tell you this: it's just it's easy to chop somebody down on Instagram, but it's different when someone writes you an email that says, "Hey, Sub, I've been following you for 15 years. You taught me to grow pot and own a big old house because I bought your seeds and you taught me how to grow pot." That's much different than somebody calling you a name on it.
Yeah, and how many times have you gotten that letter? 100 times in your life?
Day.
But I'm even talking to the point of where it's not just these Instagram guys, it's the ones that start on Instagram and then they try to interfere because they're part of like some other subgroup of stupid shit, and then they show up at live events and at shows.
You got to remember.
And I even know, just to give you an example of how bad, I had an artist who the haters were so bad, that one guy was so bad that he interfered with the family life, started sending things and finding out the guy's house address and crazy
my motto
shit.
My motto is live in the light. And you know what? Instagram for me, for the most part, is really, really positive. It's really the only social media platform that I personally will view every day. Yep. I ignore Twitter.
But we also talk to each
and
other.
I ignore.
That's what's important.
What's that?
We can communicate. I mean, as much as it's fun to post your meal or whatever on IG, for me, I can communicate with I was talking to Nicky T this morning. I don't actually have his number on my phone because I'm on like my 9th phone of the year. You know that game.
Who
but
are you
talking? To anybody in the industry, and they say, "Hey, for me, that's the power of Instagram."
Right, exactly, and some people, and so I appreciate that one platform, and the negativity gets pretty much shut down by just the overwhelming positivity.
Yes,
and it does. So shout out for that. It's hard to get behind any big, massive platform. I mean, we know they do choose what you want to see, and they manipulate shit, and that's all true. But again, it's an imperfect world, and you have to find pleasure and beauty in some things.
Yeah.
And Instagram's good to me. I got to tell you, since we're talking about it, two things. One of the main reasons that I get taken down on Instagram is my music copyrights, and I can't bitch about that.
Right.
I listen to music all the time, and if I put up a video with somebody's music in it and they take it down, ever since I gave them my ID, my grower license, my driver's license, and sent it to Instagram, I didn't get the blue check mark. I think I put too much.
I did. It took me 2 tries. Yeah, I just got the blue check. What's that?
They don't mess with me now.
Right.
I mean, I'm advertising my ass off on Instagram. You're not supposed to, and they're okay with it.
Well.
So wait, hold on a second, just so I understand. Did you have to upload that information, or you actually had to mail them copies?
No,
of
you
that
just
shit?
upload it. You take a picture of your ID and send it
Yep.
to them so that they can verify you and make sure you are who you say you are.
And then that's it.
Yeah, it's really not a
They
big deal.
generally leave you alone unless you get somebody reporting you a lot. But if you follow my Instagram, I have a basic.
Well, why don't we shout that out? Let everybody know. What is the Instagram, my brother?
Oh, I'm sorry. Subcool420 is my main Instagram. And I do food, activity, and cannabis. I also teach. Like, I actually will put up a video, pose a question, and like 100 people will start talking. That is so powerful. And I'll do it for everything. I'll say, I'm going to go buy a product this week. I'll do a little video, and I'll say, what do you guys think about this product? And I call my fans the weed nerds.
You're like the human. You're the human tool time. You're like the
really
humanity tool time. It's like
my new one this week is chopping up an aloe plant, making a nice foam to soak the clones in.
Probiotics. Isn't that probiotics?
Yeah, it is. It's simple. Everybody's using Clonex. Clonex is $54 a bottle. I got a bunch of aloe I bought last year.
Aloe? He's saying aloe. We all call it aloe, but that's okay.
Aloe, I'm saying it.
Just people out there going aloe.
My girlfriend was picking on me yesterday for saying it incorrect. But I love the hippie aspect, and I'd say this was a joke, but also in a good way. I've never been a salt guy. I've always been a soil and an organic guy, and you're my friend, and you're a veganic guy, and I'm just getting to where I would rather make something from the plant or the earth than buy it.
You know why? You know why? You know why?
Why?
You're getting old. I went through the same thing.
I'm filleting the plant. And I'm making this, a brine to put on the plants to soak the rooters in. I'm making a foam to dip them in. Do you have
a staff, like one of those like Gandalf? Thou shalt not pass.
No, I actually do have a staff that a fan made me with feathers hanging on it. So
of course,
you joke.
No, I don't joke. It's a hemp stalk, right?
Yeah,
of course it is.
Yeah, but and the other thing I wanted to talk to you about real quick was, and so the bowling alley's up and running, and the business behind the bowling alley is so complicated, or any commercial grow up. Kyle, I know you've seen a few. Joe, I don't know if you have, but it used to be you grow it, you cut it down, you cure it, you take it to somebody, and you sell it, and they gave you money. Nah. I get paid by box. Like our way it works.
Right.
As long as my product goes good enough to go in a box, the box gets sold, I get paid.
Right. I understand. It all has to be a licensing deal, and you're the licensor.
So much.
Yes.
So much.
Yes. It's like anything in life, man. Chocolate cake is great, but you can't eat it every day. If you do, it's not great anymore. And so it's like legalization, man. It's here, and I still, that's me rubbing my razor stubble, going,
I knew you were. I could see you stroking your face.
It's here, and it's got to get better. It can't get any worse, right? It's got to get better.
My partner's in Oklahoma right now, and the reason he's there is simple. He was able to procure a license for $2,500 a couple of weeks ago before they changed the law. The reason we did this was because, for those of you who don't know, before Colorado changed the law, you could go down the main street in Denver, and I owned the street. My name and logo and flowers and seeds were in every single shop. But I'm an outlaw. And I didn't get into their matrix. And even though you can go buy my flowers there and people grow, there's a place there called Maggie's Farm. He makes $10 million a year growing my genetics. And I don't get a dime because I didn't get into the matrix. So we're in Oklahoma trying to get into the matrix now. Bought a building, bought a license, and we'll start breeding in Oklahoma tomorrow.
Good.
Along with Soul and everybody else doing right now, because you follow this wave of where they'll let you grow.
Right.
And right now in Oklahoma, you can do pretty much what you want.
Right. Yeah, I know some people doing some stuff in Oklahoma as well, and it's just coincidental that the High Times Cup is there this weekend. And
but you can't smoke there. You can't smoke in public in Oklahoma High Times Cup.
Yeah, it's a little bit different when you do these things in the different areas, right? Because Michigan's pretty carefree because that's rec right now, right?
Michigan's a cutting torch because a lot of growers grow cannabis in Michigan, and Michigan's got a really good grower law.
For sure.
They just screw it up.
But what's happening with Oklahoma? Do you know?
Yeah, I mean, basically for $2,500, it's unlimited. If I were a little younger, Kyle.
What about for the personal guy? What about for home growing?
For home growing, you can grow. I mean, I don't know the law, so I don't want to sound like a jerk, but
Sure.
It's wide open.
Right.
I mean, there are people, you can set up a hoop, grow pot, drive it to a dispensary, and if you're good at your job, they will buy it. They don't have any good weed. Most of the cannabis to go down there is either harvested early. It's got a little bit of mildew. There are people down there that don't know what they're doing.
You know what Oklahoma is? Oklahoma is America's Jamaica.
It is.
It's like a little island in the middle of nowhere that, everybody's going to start flocking to because they can grow acres.
Yep.
But there's still no export licenses, right?
There's still and I don't want to talk politics.
Right.
Kyle knows me, Drew. I'm not
either.
into politics.
I don't either. We're just having a good time. You know what? I need another rip. I'm with them. I'm going to take.
But the feds are going to have to change the banking rule. We can't talk about this discussion and not talk about the fact that I went through 37 credit card processors trying to sell legal CBD in this country. And I don't have a credit card processor on my multi-million-dollar website right now. I take Bitcoin and money orders.
Charles Schwab closed my fucking IRA just because I'm Kyle Kushman.
Because you're a pot guy.
Yeah.
See?
Like, what about the people that own General Hydroponics? They sell fucking $250 million worth of fertilizer a year. I sell 2.5. What the fuck?
And the thing that makes it so frustrating is as the law changes, so in 2017, I paid $400,000 in federal income tax. Because at the time, I could sell weed in California, and it was working. Nobody cared. And we were putting our money in the bank and claiming it.
Exactly. It's just...
So I'm technically a wealthy guy who can't get a credit card for my business. This is stupid.
Oh, man. But it's even taking all of that, taking in your whole situation for whatever the people out there can, which is very abstract to most people. I'm a little bit more intimate. It is moving forward for us, for you, for us. It's not easy. I was just talking about that with my wife this morning. It's not easy, and we don't have any great pathway to this this business conquest.
Vertical integration, we like to use the word, right?
Vertical integration.
You don't have a way to vertically integrate this business that you help create.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I know this feeling. But let me echo your sentiments. Yeah, I grow pot in a pool for 5 patients. I provide the cannabis to these patients for nothing. Yeah. Rosin, edibles. We have a freeze dryer here.
I told you, didn't I say I told you?
Starting to learn everything we can about cannabis. And we couldn't do this 10 years ago, so if I sounded negative about that, I apologize.
You're just kibitzing. Yeah. We just call it kibitzing.
You gotta rant a little bit about what it was back in the day, but at least we have it now where it's better.
Exactly.
Now not to say it's the best, but it's getting better, and there's a lot of people that fought for a long time to.
I think if you have
to the point where we're at.
If you have a big picture view. And it's hard when you're not the ones making the millions, But if you have a large picture view, you have to feel like things are better, that it's legal, and hundreds, if not thousands, of people across the country every day are not going to jail in at least 35 states.
And we're probably, I want to speak for Drew, but probably smoking the best, safest cannabis products in my life.
And that's what
I'm
it's all
smoking
about.
White rosin right now, so I don't,
That's what it's all about.
Sure, back then you could get the dankest of the dankest bud, but you didn't really give a fuck what nutrients or what the guy was doing,
pesticides,
whatever it was to get
heavy
that
metals.
flavor.
You didn't
and
know.
that fucking taste. We had no idea, but
Did
then,
you?
And it's Kyle's fucking fault. I'm the biggest snob on the planet. If you have salts in your building, sorry, bro, I'm not talking to you.
I just
and
can't
if
look.
you're out there growing with General Hydroponics, I know I just insulted you, and I apologize.
Look,
but there's a better, easier way. And
it's called hand.
Me,
it's called.
My life has been enriched because I took on organics.
That's right.
2 parts orange, 1 part green, half part red.
Look, I'm not saying it's poison. It's not. I'm not saying it's necessarily bad for you. It is bad for some people who have very low tolerances towards impurities, and they may not know it. Not everybody that has migraines had migraines all their life. The toxicity, the aggregate toxicity in the world, just the air and the water and everything we choose to put in our body builds up. So, yeah, there's definitely a better, more healthier medicine than...
Here's a direct, Kyle. When I smoke my organic rosin, I have a lung condition, if you didn't know that. For those of you listening, I have a condition called alpha-1. I was diagnosed about 5 or 6 years ago. My white blood cells eat my lungs, liver, and heart up. My liver doesn't produce protein, and so I take an infusion every week that costs almost $5,000. I should not smoke, but I'm a miserable human being without cannabis. So I smoke small amounts of high quality,
ultra refined organic.
So what about taking the molecules up? Is it that the smoke itself is bad?
I'll tell you, no,
could he take pills?
We've been smoking for 20, 30, 40 years, man. We've been and so he's reduced it to the minimum harm possible, but But
what about just for your condition, taking full spectrum with lower cannabis, taking pills and taking it from really good extracted oil? You do all that, right?
I mean, I'm the weed nerd. I take 2,000 milligrams a day of cannabis.
Stop and think about that.
Let's talk about that. No, I know. I understand what he's taking for sure. 2 grams. Yeah, 2 grams for sure.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, that'll battle cancer. That'll battle cancer.
When I get a gram of a product from a dispensary, $50 for a gram of Diamonds FCS sauce, made by big companies. You know they're using salts. It's beautiful. It's clear. You can see through it. Smells great. When I smoke that gram, it impacts me immediately, and I feel like shit. Even though I'm smoking the highest quality possible product from the highest quality labs, it's because they're using salts and solvents. And I just wanted to make that
hallelujah, amen, hallelujah, amen, hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
If you're going to go buy that, I buy them. I hope you're hearing me. I buy baller jars for my girlfriend all day long. And I smoke the shit because it looks killer. And the next day when I wake up, I'm like, shit.
Yeah, man.
Probably shouldn't have done that.
Your testimony is it's just what it is, man. And you know what? Truth is some people are not even tuned in enough to notice the difference. Their body's already so polluted with all the fucking intoxicants that they choose to put in it every single fucking day that little bit that you feel from the difference is like, it's background noise to them. You know what I'm saying?
Now, I want to go back to Drew's point. Now, this is a little embarrassing. So
what's that?
I was, for many years, right after my diagnosis, and my whole life I've been a pothead, but right after my diagnosis, I became a hardcore addict for 1 year. I drank 2 fifths of Ciroc every day. I took up to 60 pills, Vicodin, Valium, Somas. I think I was trying to kill myself. And I've been clean for years. But something happened inside of me.
Oh, when you have that, what happens when you have that much in your system and your body had a resistance for who knows how many months or years or whatever it is, when you stop doing it, it'll take 6 months, maybe a whole fucking year before it's all even out of your system. So there are physical effects that are going to incur regardless of the facts from just getting off of that shit.
I had the same
so I have no desire
kind of incident too.
Anymore, but I still chase getting high, and I have a hard time getting high. It's hard. It's easy for me to say it. I can smoke a gram of rosin in a heartbeat, and that's very normal. So I don't know whether it's because I've smoked pot for 40 years. I think it's because of that year where I slipped.
It's possible.
But you know what? That brings me to one of those self moments I had, like in my early 20s, maybe even like my late teens. I said, self, as long as you abuse no substance other than marijuana for the rest of your life, you'll be fine. And I chose the word abuse. I was a young, and it's fine, man. You know that nobody dies from cannabis, and if you've
let me tell you
tailored a desire to cannabis, that's great.
No, that's okay. But here's the really cool part about this story that I always leave off to the end. So after I was diagnosed, I'm in a lung building dealing with people who deal with pulmonary, and we're talking about, lung transplants and all this stuff, which is a reality in my life. And the guy said, well, do you smoke? And I said, well, no, I don't smoke cannabis. He goes, well, you have to stop immediately. I said, what? You got to quit. So I quit, and I became a blithering maniac. And after I, went through this thing that I went through, I slowly picked it up. And I had a hard time. I'd take a hit, and I would get paranoid as shit. I mean, I have some good stuff laying around, But I slowly worked my way back into being a cannabis user again. And all my phobias and all my weirdness just went away. I'm a cannabis user, and regardless of whether I have a lung disease or not, I like to get up in the morning and go to work, take a break, and take a couple of hits. It changes my aspect ratio. Makes the music sound better. It makes food taste better.
My XYZ triangulation is just right.
Everything's just good. And without it, I'm an asshole. Sorry.
Look, amen to that. And I think that cannabis use is completely normal. And I know that people are perfectly capable of trying it and deciding whether they feel normal on it, or whether it's something they want to do at a party, or whether it's something they want to do on a lazy Sunday afternoon. And that's simply it. You and I, it's been medicine for us for decades. Medicine, actual medicine.
Real, yeah.
And, but just given the opportunity for people to smoke it. So don't think that advocacy is dead. That's kind of what we're here. We're standing up for Stoner Nation, because we got no shame
in this industry, all guys. The vet. So if you don't know, and I'll tell you guys, I don't know what kind of audience you have, but if you are a vet and cannabis can help you, and you need some genetics, just let me know. I got your back.
There you go.
And I have started talking with a lot of people in the world who didn't use cannabis before. They didn't know about our culture. And all of a sudden they started using cannabis, and they have found out that it is an amazing amazing medicine. And so these veterans have become on our team. These are guys who've spent years raising kids, doing all the stuff they do.
Yeah, man.
They find themselves 50 years old or whatever, and the VA's fucking them. They can't get a wheelchair. They can't get proper medical care. They're on all these pills, and all of a sudden they smoke some cannabis or they take some RSO, and instantly they feel better. And instantly they're pissed off at everything they ever heard about cannabis.
Yo, man, it was so cool having you on. We're going to, we're going to jump
segue into some music really quick.
A couple of things for a little bit, take a little bong hit. But we want to have you on again for sure. It was so cool talking with you.
So cool. I'm coming out to see you in Zona.
Come on, Dave.
Yeah.
Still got a jar of buds waiting on you.
I bet you do. You're awesome, brother.
Thank you, guys.
I love
Thank you, man.
Stay great.
I love you too, man.
We'll be back in a minute.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Toke hard.
Bye-bye.
Take care, guys.
And
that was old school. You remember those guys when they came out in the 80s? Was it 80s or 90s? Glycerine. And then the video they had. Do you remember the video?
Good rock and roll, man.
It was one of those first ones that started out on MTV back in the day.
The 90s had some great rock and roll. There's no doubt about it.
Late 80s had some crazy ones.
Late 80s and 90s, great fucking rock and roll.
Let's see if we can...
We had to, that was a really great convo with my brother Subcool.
Absolutely.
And, but I'm going to see if it's possible for us to get in the Dank Man.
Yeah, let's see, give him a little Call
we got to give some love to Danny-Danko from High Times Magazine.
And that's so cool. Live, if we get through to him, he's live on over there
at the Oklahoma
People
Cannabis
smoking,
Cup.
Hanging out, having a great time,
just like you are. How many? I bet you 50% of the people out there right now have their hands on some plants.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. The one thing that's great about that is that area is just starting to pop medical. So everybody in the Oklahoma area is getting such an amazing, unbelievable experience that they've never gotten to have. And that's what's cool. So shout out to everybody in Oklahoma that's out there doing their things.
Yeah, man.
And having probably one of the greatest weekends that they've ever had in cannabis in Oklahoma, that's for sure.
Party. Party, man. Let your freak flag fly and
absolutely
celebrate. Excuse me, let me clear my throat. Celebrate, man, the fact that you're a stoner.
Absolutely.
Hello.
Yo, Danny, it's Kushman.
Hello.
Yo, Danny, it's Kushman. You're live on haze-radio.
He probably can't hear as well.
Hello.
Hey, Danny, you there? There's probably so many cell phones.
Technical difficulties.
Hello?
Danny. Hello.
Yes, I can barely hear you.
Oh, you want me to, if I speak really loud, can you hear me?
I don't think it should be a problem for you.
You hear me now. How are you, my brother?
I'm well.
Where are you? Tell everybody.
I am in Oklahoma City at the first ever High Times Cannabis Cup in Oklahoma.
Yee-hee, give thanks.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing to think that, you know, we used to not be able to do these in the United States at all, and now we're doing them in Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah, man.
I was just talking about that. Literally.
So how is the crowd? And like, what time is it there? We're not on the same time schedule, are we?
It's 2:49 here. The crowd is amazing. It's
nice.
Really hot, and it's really humid.
Nice.
But, you know, nothing worthwhile is easy, and making history is not easy. So the people here who are going through this heat and humidity to celebrate this healing flower are truly making history.
Ja Warriors. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, man.
Who's playing? Who's going to be playing over? What's the lineup?
We've got 311 performing tonight.
Wow. Shout out to Nick.
Tomorrow night.
Yeah, shout out to Nick Hexum.
Also, so really great lineup here.
Let's say that again. I missed it. Say them again.
We have 311 performing tonight.
Huh?
And Slightly Stupid tomorrow.
Nice.
Plus a lot of local artists as well from the area. And, yeah, it's at this wonderful, like, lake campground. And really just a great time.
That's a great lineup. So if you're anywhere in the area, well, this isn't a live show. I'm getting a little excited.
Yeah, we're going to replay, but people get to hear Danny talking about what I was saying, Oklahoma, how long and how different the laws have been there and what people have had to go to prison for weed. And they're getting to enjoy a High Times event there. It must be, like you said, they don't give a shit about the humidity probably. They're driving such a fucking great time.
You know? Yeah, it's really, you know, it's a celebration, and they have an amazing law here that really, you know, made it equitable for a lot of people to get into the business, and we'll see what happens in the future. But right now, you know, patients can grow their own, and there are seemingly dispensaries on every corner, so it's really like the Wild West.
Tell us, do you know anything more about the home grower law?
I don't, except that I know that some people have moved here just to grow from other places, even places like Colorado, because I believe that the plant limits are larger, you know, higher limits, and they can, you know, basically keep what they grow. And I don't know. I'd have to look into it a little more. I mean, I literally just got here last night, and I'm just amazed at how far they've come in such a short period of time.
That's fantastic. Fantastic. So the whole High Times traveling circus is in town, and say hi to everybody for me. And
tell Stang what's up.
For sure.
Yes.
For sure, I will. Yeah, we're all here.
Let's I wanted to give
celebrating cannabis.
Yeah, brother.
Hey, one quick thing too. Let's give a shout out to is it Craig Fox, who's the new CEO of High Times and stuff, or no?
Yeah,
man.
Craig Fox, the new CEO.
Really exciting.
Has really come in and he's steering the ship.
Well, good times, man. Good times, high times. My time, high time. Your time, high.
Well, you're always part of the family, and we love you.
That's what
always,
it is.
And
that's what it is, brother. It's all love. Hey, I started the show by talking about Nick and Luann's Pocket Pot Kit.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they sent me one.
Yeah, it's a great product.
Isn't it?
Absolutely, and you can customize it to fit your needs. So you can really make it exactly how you want it, which is really cool.
It is really cool. It's got a catalog. You can go online and you can customize it, whether you want a beaker bong or a straight up bong, or if you want a dabbing kit, or and it's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah,
it's great.
Absolutely. Shout out to them.
Yeah, for sure.
Alaska Kush people.
Yes, Alaska Kush people.
Hawaii.
Yes, man. Hawaii is a paradise. Well, listen, man. Enjoy your afternoon. Enjoy your afternoon. Invoke the name of Kushman when you're token, and give my love to everybody.
Thank you very much, and keep up the great work.
We love you, Danny.
Love you too.
Peace
Thanks,
out.
brother.
Yep. Bye.
That was cool. I bet you it was a great event.
Oh, man.
That'll be cool bands too. You know what it is sometimes they try to put a whole ton of bands, but it's cool that they did local bands, because then the local bands
get to play with the bigger bands.
They get to say, we played
with 311
at one of the very
stupid.
first cannabis events that ever happened in the state, and we got to play with those people. Like
that's
with 311,
lineup.
That's a huge jam.
And Slightly Stupid.
Yeah. But 311 definitely is got a definite higher.
Come on now, Slightly Stupid.
They're great. They're amazing. I'm not saying
they're a great fair band, a great concert band. When you're out there hooping it up in the sweat and the humidity. That's great, man. Good for Oklahoma, but it's only a matter of time. Pretty soon they're going to be selling stoner tacos.
Here's a little Slightly Stupid.
There you go.
We'll just do a little cast for the youngins that have no idea.
Oh, everybody knows. Pass the Ducci. Yeah, man. So we're just chilling with y'all and listen to some good music. Everybody download the app at Haze Radio. Tell your friends. I'm going to keep doing this anyways because I don't care. I'm having a good time.
It's fun.
It is fun. It's a great way to spend an hour with your brother.
Yeah, man. They're actually good. And then for those that haven't heard 311, let's just
come on.
I mean, there is a lot of young kids, haven't heard of them.
I suppose. You're going to do Down? Or what is it? Come Correct? What is that one? 311's got a lot of good songs. They're old school.
Do you remember this one? This is a little bit harder. Oh, you want it Down?
No, this is good. Don't change it. Fuck yeah.
Goes back.
It's like
It's a good song.
Oh, it's awesome. It's like a mixture of reggae, ska,
and back then it was
metal.
like way different. You're like, what are they? We don't know the name yet. It's when kind of alternate was starting.
Yeah, they'll definitely rock it out tonight, man.
So Nick, the singer, he has a vape pen out called the Uplifter. It's actually pretty cool, good quality. Well,
shout out,
yeah,
Uplifter.
Shout out for the Uplifter. It's pretty interesting though how life changes and music changes, right?
Yeah, man. There's it's hard to find really good music nowadays, but it's out there. I tend to go with
anything
with the
new.
old classics.
Any shout outs? Any like new bands or stuff you've heard? You're like, these guys are pretty cool.
Greta Van Fleet's all right sometimes. I don't know, but there's nobody that I like all the time anymore. It's like the last band for me was the Kings of Leon.
What was the last concert you actually went to see?
Like
Live.
Chili Peppers.
That's cool though.
But it was only like 3 years ago. Saw the Chili Peppers in downtown LA. That was a really good show actually. And they're still rocking.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they've been together forever. And Rush, I saw Rush's second to last show outdoors down in
they're still jamming.
No, Rush has retired.
No?
Yeah, Rush retired. They officially retired.
This year though, or
and Neil Peart's like 73.
But didn't they? I could have sworn that maybe.
No, they just
there wasn't some kind of.
They just did a movie where Geddy and Alex are on stage, and actually I think Neil was there too. They did. I think they got together for a one night. They made a movie and they're playing it across the country.
That's cool.
It was just one thing.
Like a one thing.
The thing is, when he's such a masterful drummer that when you get to a certain age, it just takes so much work. You constantly have to work to stay in a good enough shape.
Sure.
To get over the arthritis and.
Years ago, I saw this like one where it was like it was Rush, and then it was like Def Leppard, Poison, and like a whole bunch of these like old school bands, and they still like Def Leppard. I saw them play; they fucking jammed. I was like, damn, you guys still fucking killing it.
Def Leppard, yes. Yeah. Hello, America. I love that shit. Music is as important as weed, and I've always got music rolling in my head. If I'm not humming a tune, then somebody needs to smack me. Something's wrong. So is it that time again?
Yes, sir.
It is. I want to tell everybody to check out pocketpotkick.com, please. It is really cool, and it was nice getting stoned with y'all today.
Yep.
And thank you, Drew, and thank you, Danny, and thank you, Sub. And so if you're interested in maybe getting a call live on the show, why don't you drop me a direct message on my Instagram and tell me why you're so interesting and why listeners out there want to know about what you got going on. And maybe I'll give you a call. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah.
So while we're here still, just want to remind everybody of the most important thing of all, and that is just try to make somebody that you don't know smile today. Peace and love, everybody.
You're listening to Haze Radio Network, Cannabis Lifestyle Radio.